Hey, what's up? I'm Cleo Sim, and this is a small introduction and setting up and tiny little history lesson about what you see in front of you, which is Otis and Josephine Hawkins, and we will be doing the Decades Challenge. I'm pretty excited about it. I've been wanting to do it for quite a while, and I'm glad. Of course, I waited, as I do, because I'm a procrastinator, but it always pays off because we got seasons and there has been updates made to this challenge that include seasons. So that is going to be a really neat thing considering the whole thing is built around farming. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you to the page where the rules are and give you a little background on that. And we'll have the small little history lesson. And then that'll be it until the challenge starts later this week. So let's take a look at the rules. Okay, so first off, this was done by Cute Coffee Gal. I think that's what her name is. If you click this here, I'll leave a link in the description for this page. You should click this here to take you to her YouTube channel where she shows you her Let's Play of this. And she started last year. So like I said, that she's already updated it for seasons, but when she starts, it's 2017 and it's not like that. So the helpful links are, this is the original challenge by Zombie Cleo. And I'm Cleo Sim, so I'll be doing a version. And then there's modified rules, and then there's her scoring template. And right here it talks about aging and time. I'm not going to read any of that. I'm not going to read, like, you guys can go and look at this yourself just to kind of explain what's going on as far as aging. It makes a lot of sense. Now that we have seasons, and I'm a big fan of Landros 09, and I play the Sims 3 Ultimate Challenge, and of course, 1 week equals, what would you say, 3 months, right? Yeah. So if you go through an entire week of winter, that's a year according to that particular challenge. And I thought maybe it was going to be changed to reflect that, but no, we're looking at the age of the people. So, a baby is 3 days to a year and a half old. So that would be how old the baby is before you age it up. It'll be a year and a half old. And then it's a toddler for 7 days, and it makes it to 5, and so on and so forth. And it tells you about that. If you guys are interested and playing this challenge and using this version, like I said, I'll leave a link in the description. Another thing this talks about is getting started. I don't have my game up right now, but I'm pretty sure I didn't do anything about their money afterwards. If I did, well, then I'll have to put some money in there for them if I messed it up. But it just says start with the starter funds, which is what, 20,000, 22,000, something like that. You buy your house and you put all your stuff in it, and then you get the land ready and things like that. So that's what goes on with the money. You don't need any cheats. I mean, if you start out without $40,000, it would probably be best if you kind of scaled that down a bit to make it more reasonable for the 1890s. As your family grows and the generations go on throughout the decades, it'll be nice to see how the finances improve. But the one improvement and update there is right here, and these are all the seasons that she put in, which I think are great. Some of them are already in, I imagine. New Year's, Winterfest, and Thanksgiving are already gonna, be in there. But you can adjust them as you see fit, or you don't do anything if you don't have seasons, or if you do have seasons. But anyway, these are some of the things that lets you set it up, which is what I was talking about. Now, if we're going to do the 1890s, there's only male heirs. I'm not going to go too much more into this, just to tell you there's only male heirs, because you can plainly see that. It talks about your house, what's allowed to be in there, what you're allowed to do about education, what you're allowed to do about working. I think this is interesting. Your Sims cannot go to festivals or even city events. If your Sims get sick, you can't give them medicine. You have to cure them through natural remedies, orange juice. They may not throw any events besides weddings. Births must take place at home. Babies can only be fed through breastfeeding and not by bottle. Now, that one, if we want to be historically accurate, they did have baby bottles in the 1890s, albeit they were with a rubber cork, which means that there was a lot of bacteria that would get in there. And when your baby would drink out of this bottle that wasn't washed properly, they could get sick and die. I will follow the rule about the breastfeeding just because, why not? But just to let you guys know, there were bottles in the 1890s. There was, order catalogs where you could look in there and you could order anything you needed for your house or for the children, furniture, things like that. So those things did exist then. It exists then, but it's kind of up to you what you want to do. If you want to go completely buy this or you go, nah. Yeah, the thing about the cow plant is going to be, it represents war. So when the men go off to war, either they come back, which means they get spit out, or they don't come back, they get eaten, stuff like that. We'll go through more of that when we get to the actual playing of the game and starting our family. But these are just some of the things that are going to go on in the 1890s. And, obviously we have the phone. I use hotkey M for travel. So I probably won't have a problem with them using the phone to be going anywhere, which they can't go a lot of places anyway. But like if they want to get jobs and things, well then it's not Sims 3 where you can just go to the building. You actually have to use the phone. If anybody wants to become a writer, they're obviously going to have to use the computer unless I can find a CC typewriter. I think there might be one, but I haven't seen it yet. If you guys know about that, let me know. But just, it's The Sims. We can only be as historically accurate as the game allows. Over here, let me do this real quick, is her scorecard. So you can keep score with this. I don't know anything about it. I won't be using it because I don't play challenges that way. It's challenging enough just to get through the challenge. So I won't be doing any of that. But if you guys are interested, like I said, this is her YouTube channel. And over here is her actual YouTube channel. And this is where it says CC Finds. So if you're interested in playing this and you want to get some of the clothes or some of the furniture you see, if you're watching her Let's Play, she has a list here. Oh, it's right here. I didn't even have to click that. Let me shut that down. Yeah. Oh, no, I did have to open it. Okay. It's right here. Here's a link to all the CC used from her video. You go in there. Why don't we just go in there? Yeah, why not? And here's her list. It's pretty extensive, as you can see. I'll go ahead, I guess, and leave a link to it in mine as well. That way, if any of you guys ask me. And it's not said that I have any of the stuff she has or that I can get it. Sometimes sites go down and things like that. So I have my own stuff. There's not going to be a list, so don't ask me. I don't know. Most of the time I don't know. But anyway, yeah, this is her list, her channel for CC or watching it. Here are the rules. Here's a scorecard. And so now we'll just step back over to the Hawkins family and let me do my small little history lesson. All right, so the small little history lesson is this. Obviously, my family is black. And you might be thinking, did blacks own their own farms in the 1890s? Not a chance. Except this one thing. So I had to really think about this because I live in Tennessee, which is the South, but I wasn't born and raised here. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Kansas. So after the Civil War, there was Reconstruction. And of course, you had the emancipation of the slaves, which means you had these freed slaves. So there was a problem where you have the white plantation owners that need workers to work their farms. And then you have these freed black slaves that need a job. And so that combined into sharecropping or tenant farming, which a lot of people argue is still slavery because they were being abused and they were being robbed as far as the plantation owners wouldn't pay them really what they were worth. The way it works is I noticed there was 3 different things you could do. I only remember like 2, but either see, the way the sharecropping works is the farmer owns this land, right? And then the how would you put that? Well, he will provide a place for the tenant farmers to live. He will provide the seeds for them to plant. He will provide, a horse or a mule or whatever it is they need, all their farming equipment. He provides all that. So what the tenant farmer then does, because it wasn't just blacks, there was a lot of whites and immigrants that had to do this too. They'll farm and work the land. And then at the end of the year, whatever the crop is, they either split it 50-50, which that didn't work most of the time. It was whatever the plantation owner deemed fair, because the workers couldn't then say, no, I'm not going to do that. So they would work the land, and either they'd pay rent. So let's say instead of like half the crop or a third of the crop or whatever, they're paying the plantation owner or the farmer who owns the land, we'll just call him that. They're paying him, let's say, I don't know, $1,000 a year, right? Which, I mean, I'm just using this as an example. I don't think it's true. But then when they needed to go to the general store or the market or whatever to get things, it would be on credit because they didn't always have money. And then the prices at the market would be inflated. So you have the tenant farmers, whoever they happen to be, they had to pay the landowner, that's the word I was looking for, whatever that deal was, either in crops or money or both. And then they also had to pay off their debt to the market. So as you can imagine, they didn't get real far. But that was what happened after Reconstruction, after the Civil War and everything, and the system that came to be for the South. Now, I am from the Midwest, and what we had is called homesteading. And the Homestead Act was signed by Abraham Lincoln in 1862, which gives a freed person, there was 3 rules. Obviously, if you were a Southern rebel, you can't participate because you're at war with Abraham Lincoln's, administration. So you don't get to participate. Other than that, you had to be at least 21 years old and just a free citizen. And they wanted people to expand and popularize west of the Mississippi. So they were offering them free land. And the way it worked is you could get 160 acres for free. The deal was you had to stay on the land and work it for 5 years, and then it was yours. And there was 270 million acres given away to 1.6 million homesteaders during the Homestead Act. So I decided that is what I'm going to be doing, since I know more about that than I do about sharecropping. So Otis and Josephine are homesteaders, and they are on this plot of land right now, and 5 years, I'll try to see if I can. I don't think that's going to work out real well, but I guess we can use the generations to kind of make it 5 years, and that way the family ends up owning the land. And that is the small little history lesson that I thought I'd include in that. So, later on this week, I will be starting the Decades Challenge with this family. And that is the premise under which I'm going. So not sharecropping, homesteading. And that way they can be Black and own their own farm. And that is how I'm going to be getting that done. Other than that, I don't know how historically accurate it's going to be. As I always say, the Sims play themselves, the Sims, and we'll just have to see as we go. But there you go. That is the setup, the info, and this small little history lesson for what I'm planning on doing. I hope you guys like it. I'm really excited about it, and I will see you later on.